What's up everyone, Twitchy here, and welcome to Twitchy's Kitchen. Today, we are going to be going over the beef stroganoff recipe that we made last week on our Twitch stream. I'm going to leave the recipe in the description down below, that way you can see all of the ingredients and their measurements, and we're going to get into it. Alright, so you're going to want to start out getting your shallots diced, your mushrooms sliced, and your beef sliced. Once you have those three things taken care of, you can put your pan on the stove over high heat. We're going with high heat here because we're searing the beef. We want a nice color on the beef. So once your pan is up to temperature, you can put the beef in the pan. You're going to want to separate it all out at the bottom of the pan. Give it room, make sure no beef is stacked on top of each other. Give it a quick salt and pepper and let it sear down on one side for a while. And you'll get an idea of about when it's ready. Take a look if you want to, pick up a piece of beef, see what it looks like. Once that is nicely seared on one side, flip it over and sear the other side. And again, it's going to be a minute or two. Get a nice sear on it. And once you have both sides seared, and try to say that twice. Once you have both sides seared, remove it from the heat, put it on a plate, and set it aside. Now that same pan with the oil in it from the beef, you're going to put back on the heat and put your shallots in. Here at this point, we're just trying to give the shallots a nice quick sear / sweating, right? Just when the shallot starts to get a little bit wet, we're going to put in the mushrooms and we're going to stir those up, give them a quick salt. The salt will help release the moisture out of the mushrooms, and you're going to basically cook that mixture until it's nicely browned. Once the mushrooms are nicely browned, you can put a tablespoon of garlic in, give it a quick stir, maybe a minute or two cook time. Once that garlic starts to release its aromas, you can go in with 32 ounces of beef stock. Now, just a word I'm going to say about the beef stock. Try to find a good beef stock. You know what I mean? Don't use bases and bouillons and stuff like that. They're just extremely salty, and honestly, they just don't give you that same good flavor. So if you can find a good beef broth or stock, use that. Use the full 32 ounces, then bring that sauce up to a boil, and then reduce the heat down to a pretty fast simmer. This is going to take some time to reduce. We're basically taking this 32 ounces of stock and we're going to try to reduce it by half over time. All that's going to do is make that flavor a lot more potent. So once that's down about half, you're going to want to go ahead and put in your Dijon Mustard and your, Worcestershire Sauce. Honestly, I have the hardest time saying that word and I don't know why. So while the sauce is reducing, we're going to go ahead and get our herbs in a container and just setting it off to the side by the stove so we're ready to put them in. And then we're going to measure out our sour cream. It's like 3/4 cup of sour cream. This is our hit and miss. You can go a little heavier, a little lighter. It's not really going to hurt anything. And then we're going to get our flour and water mixture stirred up together in preparation of thickening. And once that sauce is gotten to the point where it's probably about 3/4 reduced from where it was, you're going to stir in that flour and water mixture and just keep stirring it in so you don't get any lumps. And that sauce is going to thicken up. Now, you're going to want to cook the flour out of it. You're going to want to let it sit and simmer for a few minutes and kind of cook that flour out of it a little bit. And then once you're to the point of that, you're going to go ahead and stir in your sour cream. You're going to put your herbs in, mix them up nice into the sauce, and let it simmer for a little while just to get it to the consistency you're kind of looking for. You want it to be a nice, thick, saucy consistency. And then you're going to put your beef in and let it finish off. Now, the beef itself, if it's cut as thin as what we cut it here, it's not going to take that long to finish the cooking process. As a matter of fact, it would probably finish the cooking process in the sauce alone. But give it a little time, let the sauce come to the consistency you're looking for, then pull it off the stove. And you're ready to go. And at this point, then you're ready to plate, which is fine. So we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to let it cool down a little bit while we get our lunch containers ready. So these are just some glass lunch containers with some snap-on lids. They got a little gasket around them that's actually really nice to do your lunch prep in. And we're going to put a half a cup of basmati rice at the bottom of each of those and then push that rice off all the way to one side. After we get that all set up, we're going to be looking at throwing some caramelized cabbage in the bottom of that and kind of spreading it around nicely, and then putting the beef stroganoff itself on top of that cabbage. In this case, this is what we're choosing for sides. You could, of course, do just the classic egg noodle. You could do mashed potatoes. You could do a different rice of your choice. Whatever you want to do. This is just what we were doing for our lunch prep for that week. We're going to garnish it with a little bit of scallion, a little bit of sliced scallion. We had it for another recipe, so we had it for garnish. It's totally optional. You don't have to garnish if you don't want to. But then, yeah, snap on the lids and set it in the fridge. And then you have yourself a nice reheatable lunch for the following week. And that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I really look forward to doing more of them. Please let me know what you think about it, though. Always looking at ways that we can maybe improve or do things better or explain things better. So yeah, definitely let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. So thank you all so very much for being here to the end of the video, and hope to see you in the next one.